knitters. How are you? This is Recreational Knitting. My name is Karen. Welcome. Everyone is welcome here. Glad to have you. If you're new here, I'll just briefly show you a little bit about what this is about. December 2019, my husband and I took off in our RV for about 2 years to see the national parks. Well, we know what happened in March. COVID happened, and we were out on the road for 4 years. So that's where the name Recreational Knitting came from. Yes, and when we came back, bought a house, I asked my followers, what do you think? Should I change the name? And I said, nah, recreation, knitting, that's what it is. So keep it. So that's how I came upon the name, and here we are. Few years later. How are you? I did not. They're hearing me. I have 2 dogs. That one is Max. The other one is a new one, Bonnie. And she's a little hyper-focused on outside noises right now. So I think she must have heard me. Sorry about that. You may hear more before this is all over. Today is Sunday, June the 1st. This is Pride Month. I'm celebrating. I'm definitely a supporter of all people and glad to have you here. Anyway, here we are. You're here to hear about knitting. I have a couple of announcements to make. We will be doing a Christmas cast-on in July. What does that mean? It means you start to get your projects together that you know that you'll be casting on for Christmas or birthdays or holidays. It doesn't need really to be Christmas, but you know, the whole thing about Christmas in July. So thought I'd capitalize on that. So get your little projects together. I have 4, I think, at this point. One of them is for me, and I'll probably add a couple more. Not for me, but for presents. And if I ever get my sock mojo back, that would really help because that could be part of this. Join us for Christmas cast on in July. All you need to do is get your projects together, get them ready, start to cast them on the 1st of July, continue to work on them if you wish, as many as you wish, as few as you wish. There are no rules, except I thought it might be helpful for those of you that have a lot of socks to make or a lot of hats to make for grandchildren, and get them organized, get them together so that you can just pick them up at a moment's notice. The pattern, everything is ready to rock and roll, and you can start your knitting. Sometimes we wait until like October, November. Probably not the best of ideas. So let's try to get a jump on this. So you're welcome to join us. Again, as few as you want or as many as you want. All right, in June, we also have Knitting in Public Day. It's worldwide. I don't know if, I know that in the United States, there's lots of places and groups that get together in different places. I've seen people do this at baseball games, at swim meets, all kinds of different things, at coffee shops, obviously, at the knitting stores, you know. But plan ahead. It's June 14th. We've got 13 days to think about who we're going to get together with, how we're going to get together, where we're going to get together. See if there's a group in your area that's already meeting. You just go Google Worldwide Knitting in Public Day 2025 and see what comes up. They go by state and by country. So see if there's something in your community. If not, maybe you're the one that started. Yeah, let's spread our love for knitting and see if we can get a couple new recruits. I know when I lived back in Baltimore, there was a time that we all sat at a brewery and we got 2 people that were actually interested in learning. And yeah, you never know. Okay, I think that's my announcements for the moment until I remember something else. You're here for the knitting. Have I finished anything? Well, yes, I have. Let's see what I have finished. It's not blocked, but it is off the needles. And here it is. This is one long shawl. Here we go. This is the Sunset Advent Shawl by the Mermaid's Pearl. The stitch marker there is where I was last time. Look how long this is. But isn't it gorgeous? It's so happy. And I'll probably cook to death here, but I'll put it on. And this is an actual, shawl. It is extremely long. And yeah, I can see myself walking on the beach if I can ever walk on the beach again. This would be the perfect thing to liven up the day. Yeah, it's very, very pretty. There were, it's just garter stitch, nothing fancy, but certainly the yarns are lovely. And this is going to take some pins to block this baby out. I really wish designers would stop using this little garter tab thing that kind of humps up in the middle. That's the hardest thing to block. But yes, it's finished. He's back. I've forgotten him in the last couple days. So, yeah. So, anyway, there it is. It's finished. This is as much as a sweater would take. Yeah, it's 240 grams. So, yeah, a sweater. I knit a sweater. Yeah. All right. I'm also trying to come up with some ideas for some decorations. My next door neighbor, who is also a knitter, but she's of the younger generation, she said, my generation is all about the bunting. And it's like, I thought, okay, I have my little things up here. There's 1, there's 2. Those are the little balls, and sew them together and drape them. And of course I have my bunting. Can't really see it over here from the RV when we were in there, the little triangles. You probably can see maybe that one best, or that orange one. But yeah, I had those in our RV when we traveled along the front window. So I had experimented with that. That was just something that I came up with. And I'm trying to figure out something that is easier to hold together. So I came up with this, where we've got a little thing that you could take an I-cord and weave through there, or you could take a ribbon and you could certainly have a gap in there, but I'm trying to come up with a little pattern. So I've knit 3 of these so far. This is just some yarn that I had. It's my favorite color. So I'm trying to do that, and I just thought that would be fun to experiment with and then come up with something for my front window here in the holiday season. So that's what these are for. So if I ever come up with something, I think this is the one that I really like. It's a little isosceles triangle. Yeah, but I like that you could, weave a ribbon or an I-cord through there, and it could be a different color. So that, like, let's just say these are red, green, white, and then you could have maybe an I-cord or twisted yarn of all three colors all through those to hold them. I don't know. Thoughts? Anyway, those are finished. I wouldn't say it's really finished. That was kind of a cheapy one, but yeah. So if I ever get that pattern, I'll write it up and give it to you if you're interested at all. All right. Now on to what I've been working on. Oh boy, what haven't I been working on? All right. This is the Ranunculus that I thought I would finish this week, but it just didn't happen. I hate sleeves. And then this happened. And it's only on the front. The back is not quite as noticeable. So I've been sitting here looking at it. Should I rip it out? I don't think I'm going to. But I've just been sitting here watching it. And of course, I don't have the second one started at all. But this is made in Smoochy, Cashmere, merino, and yeah, I really like it. Oh, that was showing you the back there with the short rows. I left off, this the modifications on this, or I left off all these, slip over stitches down here. I just stopped with the 4-leaf, whatever you call that, flower. So that's the modification for that. So I think I'll likely continue to work on that sleeve, even though it's not as pretty as I would like. But yeah, I would have had that finished, definitely. And then of course, because I'm sitting there looking through yarn and saying, what kind of yarn do I have to do another ranunculus? And I found this. This is Sheepy's, Schepke's. I've heard it a variety of different ways. Oops, that's the back. And I've gotten to where I'm almost ready to split for sleeves. This just kind of like hit me the other night after I found the yarn. This is their cotton acrylic stone washed, river stone washed. No, not river stone washed, just stone washed. In the Boulder Opal, and I'm about to lose a stitch. And it really just kind of flew off. This is really nice. It's 60% cotton, 70% cotton, and 30% acrylic. And it's kind of, looks like it has a little mohair in it. I don't know whether you can see that well, but you can see maybe a little of the flakes there. Little fibers coming off. But yeah, so I started another one. What's wrong with me? But I really do like it. I had bought this on a D-stash off of Reddit. And I thought, what am I going to do with this? I thought it was 100% cotton when I bought it. But here we are. Yeah. So, mind blown. And my stitch marker came off that. Excuse me while I fix that. So I will have a severe problem when it comes down to it if I don't get that stitch marker back on. So yeah, kind of into the ranunculi right now. Is that a word? So yeah, we'll see. And then I found like 2 other sets of yarn that I thought, that might work too. Ooh, this might turn into the Ranunculus channel. What do you think? I think I'm a little crazy. All right, what else have I been working on? Ugh. Drop. All right, let's see here. This is by Church Mouse. I thought I was together today. I am not. I apologize. Church Mouse yarn. And this is the easy folded poncho. Now, she's just a little itty bitty thing. So I'll probably be making this a little bit bigger. I think the last time that I showed you, I was here. And I did this a little bit at Knitting Group the other day because it's knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl. I have no idea what that flower is there. But I'm going to take it out. Because I was looking at it the other day and saying there's no drop stitch, there's no anything, so it is now officially off. This is made with Cascade Yarns 220 non-superwash. I bought this on our trip. It's just a very light ash gray, and they had a bin of it. I guess they're discontinuing the non-superwash, and this is the yarn I love because it really is wonderful. And I bought like 10, 15 skeins of it. I'm not sure how many I really have, but yeah, I've when this came up, I thought, perfect. This will go with anything. I love it. So I just need to get working on it. Excuse me while I stab my yarn. Yeah, so this is like the 3rd ball, 4th, I'm not sure. So I will continue to work on that. All right. Slow progress. Everything is slow progress. It really doesn't feel like I've accomplished much these last 2 weeks. This is my Gerald Shaw by Martha Wissing. This is one of my Make 9s. Just an asymmetrical shawl, basically with yarn over, knit 2 together, and then garter stitch and making it in a different shape. I'm now on my 2nd ball of sport weight yarn. I am way off the pattern at this point. I mean, I'm still following the pattern, but I'm making up things as I go along. Like, oh, I'm done with that. Let's do 4 rows of garter. This too will be a lovely shawl to use, but isn't that a beautiful color? This is made with Beach Bunny yarn, sport weight, and I do not have a tag, but this is what the yarn actually looks like. Beach Bunny Yarns, if you don't know about it, is a local yarn dyer to me. if you're in the Charlotte area, North Carolina area, and you're planning to go to whatever that fiber festival is called, I cannot recall at this time. I want to say it's a Charlotte, but I don't think it is. But it's going to be in Charlotte in August. They will be at the show. So look them up, check out their yarns. Ron and his wife, and I'm going to say her name wrong. It starts with an A. I want to say Elaine. Yeah, they dye this yarn, and it's beautiful. They're both, I believe, aerospace engineers who've retired and now make beautiful yarn for all of us. Yeah, it's beautiful yarn. It really is. So if you do plan to go to that show, make sure you stop by their booth and tell them I sent you. They're very nice people. So yeah, I'm making progress on this. Did I show you where I was the last time? I don't think I showed you. I have very appropriately put a Christmas stocking on it. Oh, where did it go? Oh, here it is. So I've made a few rows of progress. As you know, it gets longer, gets harder to sit down and do a few rows. Right, so yes, Beach Bunny yarn, and this is in Cayenne. All right. Seems like I should have more things to show you. All right, I am participating in the Barocco Tea Party. If you've not heard about it, go on Facebook. You can still sign up. It started May the 14th. You could use any pattern, but you needed to use Barocco yarn. And there are prizes and the whole thing. So what did I do? Remix Light. I don't know what this is called. I would call it charcoal. But that's still my first skein. And I'm getting to the point now that I think I have about 4 more rows, and then I'll split for sleeves. So yeah, those of you that have been with me a while know that I love this pattern by Petite Knit. And it fits me very well. Again, it's a yoke, but it has the raglan like the Ranunculus. So that if you're looking to make a yoked sweater, a lot of times you'll get too much fabric because it's not fitting correctly around the shape of your body, of your armpits. And that's the beauty of the yoke plus the raglan. So as you're looking at yoked sweaters, check out to see if they have that feature. Most of them do not. And I find that that's what makes this fit so wonderful. Now, she has this in sizes infant through, all the way. She's, excuse me, she's introduced, I think fairly recently, within the last year and a half at least, a long sleeve version. I'm just going to say, you just make the sleeves longer on this thing. There's really not a whole lot of difference. It may be at a different weight. So I think you should, make sure that you get the right pattern for the weight yarn that you're using, obviously. Either that or you'll have to do the math. But sometimes it's worth buying the pattern for her to do the math. Yeah, so I make these in, I think I made my first one in a 3X, and it was too big. I continue to wear it, but it's too much. So I went down to a 2X. I would typically wear an extra large in a sweater. Most of my stuff is in that extra large sometimes large, sometimes extra large. But I find that her patterns run a bit small, and I like to have a little more room than many. I live in Florida. I feel like we need a little more fabric for the airflow. Just saying. Anyway, so I'm getting there. The deadline for entering these is June the 30th. So I have a month, and I think I'll be able to do it if I put away and stop casting on Ranunculus. Yeah. So my goals for this week are to finish the pink Ranunculus and just get it over with, and then to work on this. And those will be my, this are going to be my high priority. I'm totally out of the sock mojo at this point, totally. I look every day at this one sock that's hanging up there going, you need to finish me. Yeah. And yeah, it's not happening right now. I've gotten them up out of my bag, ready to rock and roll, and I just don't have it right now. We've all been there, or most of us have. Acquisitions. I just have one. This was, I have to have this. Those of you that have been around a while know that I originally come from the Baltimore area. And what's Baltimore known for, except David Simon and The Wire and homicide on the streets? Ravens, not even the Orioles anymore, let's face it. They're known for the crabs. Yeah. So how do we make crabs? We steam them. What do we steam them in? Water, a little bit of vinegar, and some Old Bay. This is Mad Tosh in the Tosh Merino Light in the colorway Old Bay. It's heavenly. This is Old Bay. If I can't have good crabs, I can have Old Bay. Now, I'm not a big Old Bay potato chip gal, but I do like the Old Bay goldfish. Love them. Will accept donations of them. But yes, what do I have planned for this? I'm going to make myself a ranunculus. At least that's what, when I bought 2 of them, I had in mind. Look how pretty. Oh, so pretty. Yes, it really is gorgeous. It's a single, which is not always the best for sweaters, as we know. Don't care. So, Old Bay. Those of you that don't know about Old Bay should really look it up. You see it a lot on shrimp if you're not from Maryland, but this is how we make our crabs with Old Bay. Do I get an Old Bay? Trying to get one of those stupid things, but thumbnails, but it doesn't always work. So that's my acquisition, and I'm tickled red. Yes. Those of you that don't know Old Bay, I'm not sure what the ingredients are, but it's spicy. It's spicy and it spices up the crabs, and it's, you know, if you're opening up crabs, cracking crabs, and, you know, you get the meat out of the crab, you kind of dip it in the Old Bay. Heavenly. If you ever visit Baltimore, make sure you order. I would start with one crab. See if you like it. But yeah, it's Old Bay. I'm tickled. Yes. See, what else? Knitting wise, I think that's it. Doesn't seem like much this week. I'm not sure why, because it seems like I've been knitting a lot. Well, I guess, you know, I've got about a third of a sweater completed. And then, you know, maybe a fourth of another Ranunculus cast on. So I guess I shouldn't complain. But, yeah. All right. Just to remind you, don't forget about Christmas cast on in July. And don't forget about June the 14th, Knit in Public Day, Worldwide Knit in Public Day. Also, I did forget this at the beginning. September, we're going to do a one skein September. Doesn't matter what the one skein is for. You can do a pair of socks, you can do a shawlette, you can do a hat, it doesn't matter what weight it is, but just a one skein project that we've got all these, you know, one skeins that we bought like at craft fairs or, you know, like in the sale bin somewhere, or got it on a D-stash or a friend gave it to us. Let's use them. Yeah, so you can make as many as you want. It's okay. One skein September, so plan ahead for that. All right, now we're going to change courses a little bit. I don't think the last couple of times I've talked to you about what I have been reading. I have 3 books that I would suggest, and I'm not sure I told you about the first one that I'm going to talk about, Careless People. And this is about, this is a nonfiction. I read a lot of nonfiction. Careless People is written by a woman from New Zealand who was an executive and in Facebook and was fired eventually from the company. But this is kind of about her autobiography during the time of Facebook and what she endured. So highly recommended. Highly recommended. It is just, it's one of the best books I've read in the last couple of years. First of all, it's very personal. She talks about, you know, when she was pregnant and how she was treated and, you know, all of the things. But it's also discusses the politics. And if I've told you this already, I'm really, really sorry. The old pea brain doesn't work as well as it did. But highly recommended. If you haven't read it, I would suggest it. It's fairly easy to listen to. The author, with her New Zealand accent, reads it to us, and it's stunning. It's very good. Okay, that's book number 1. Book number 2 is also nonfiction. And this book needs to come with a warning about how very awful some of the things that you will read about women are written in this book. The author is Laura Bates, and she does not narrate the book on an audiobook. This is really about the incel movement and how it has progressed in our day-to-day life to the point now that It's infiltrated our political system. And it's a worldwide phenomenon. It's not just in the United States. But as an American writer, she concentrates on a lot of the internet vulnerabilities that have created a lot of this. It's heavy-duty stuff, folks. I'm not one to, how do I want to put this? I don't get queasy easily about things, but this is intense. It is not a pleasure read. It's a good read, but it certainly is not for pleasure because it will be very upsetting. But if you like reading about how movements have been radicalized, this is a textbook case of how it occurs. Yeah, so it needs to come with a warning. I definitely would recommend it if you think you can handle it. There are references to women that are vicious. Hateful doesn't describe. And I've had to put it down many times. And again, I don't usually do that. It's a tough read. There, that's your warning. All right. So in the middle of that book, I decided to get a historical fiction book. And I'd heard something about this somewhere. Don't know if it was a podcast or a friend or not sure. But it's a book about the Depression era and coming out of the Depression era in the WPA. But it's very uplifting, very sad, but uplifting as well. It's called Under the Tulip Tree. And I don't have the author, I'm sorry. Under the Tulip Tree. And it is just a really nice break from historical fiction seems to dwell on wars so much. And, you know, a civil war, World War I, World War II, seems like there's a lot of that. This one takes a break from a war. It has flashbacks to Civil War because it is about slavery. The woman, the main character in the book, is living in the Nashville area, and she is a journalist looking for a job and finds the job with the WPA, interviewing former slaves back in the 1930s. It's a very nice book. Highly recommend it. I'd give it a 4 just because it's, you know, it's not big literature and, you know, doesn't teach you much of anything, but at the end it's a nice story. So that's what I've been reading. I haven't really been watching a whole lot of anything. I've been watching knitting podcast and I've been doing other things. Yeah, the longer I'm alive, the less TV interests me. That's not true. That's not true. I'm late to the game. The Pit. You need to watch The Pit. You need to buy a subscription to Max to listen to The Pit, to watch it. Excellent. Excellent. Noah Wiley of ER has come back as the ER doc, And from what I hear of the reviews, it's probably the most accurate of the dramas that involve an ER hospital situation. I thought ER was pretty good too. So it's truly excellent. I think I did it in 3 nights, the whole series. Hopefully it will be back for the second one. Okay, I think that's all I've got today. I hope you've been well. Excuse me, I've got something in my eye. Not swallowing bugs today. Yeah, those little tiny gnats that get in. Yeah, no more of that. That was wild. Yeah, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to the last video. I swallowed a bug. Anyway, I've been with you long enough, kept you long enough. I hope you have a wonderful June. I will see you hopefully in a week. And until then, knit in peace.